Hey all, welcome back to another episode of Trade Ideas with Godzilla Options. So what I'm looking at is Bank of America, a lot of the Dow stocks actually. That's really what I'm looking at since it is a going into a Wednesday. Plus we have a lot of tech earnings still happening and I don't really feel comfortable playing a lot of tech considering they're either going to get dragged down or pulled up with the earnings that are happening in case for instance, Google after hours did not have good earnings and it's pretty much dragged tech down. So anyway, with that being said, wow, what a crazy couple days we just had. Crazy reversal yesterday and then just a nice drop today. So what a roller coaster ride. Okay, so we're going to start with Bank of America. That's what I'm looking at first. We had a 2-up day yesterday and a 2-down day today with pretty much a shooter. So we're going to be looking to play the 2-2 reversal to the downside under $36.42. The first price target is going to be $35.93. That is the daily level. Now, in the event things get crazy because we really don't know what to expect right now and things do go into the upside, we're going to be looking at an entry over $37.54 to take out the previous high of $38.85. So either way, those are very realistic moves that could end up happening with Bank of America. The next one on the list is MU. I played this one a little bit off and on today. It did stop me out once or twice. It also gave me some nice gains 2 or 3 times. So the good definitely outweighed the bad. I was playing 2-2 reversals on the 15-minute. That didn't, pan out every single time. Like I said, though, the good definitely outweighed the bad. So this would be a 2-2 continuation to the downside. Underneath $67.04, we're going to be looking at a move to $66.29. Now, I do have a broadening formation kind of coming down here. That's the first close pink bar line that you have, the trend line going downwards. So we're going to be looking for a bounce around here. And there's also a liquidity zone that I've drawn from previous area of a bounce around that 66.29 area. So I'd definitely be looking for the move down there. I'd be tightening my stop loss at that point and preparing for a potential bounce. When this guide likes to bounce, it bounces. Let me move you to the 15-minute right quick and show you what I mean. This was today. When we bounced really well, and then we bounced back up again. So, and then, obviously when you drop, you drop. That's kind of the territory when you're looking at a lot of these tech stocks. They move quick, so you have to have your tight stops in place or be prepared to have a wide stop loss so that you don't actually end up getting stopped out before the move ends up happening. And then for the upside, we'd be looking at a 2-2 reversal over $69.16. We're also, again, at a liquidity area that we have here on the chart. So we could bounce back through if things do look good going into tomorrow for the move to $70 roughly, we'll say. So that's second on my list. Next is CCL. Did play this one again today. It was just a straight up drop. Now it's not so cut and dry, but if you look at it on the daily and then you look at it like on the 15-minute, it was pretty much actually a straight drop. We just had, some movement to the upside, not much, but here we go down, a little bit of up and then down, but we did come to that liquidity zone that I have drawn and basically rejected it. So we dropped through, rejected, and then dropped through some more. We're at the bottom of a broadening formation, so we'll see if we continue to do some range expansion and give ourselves some new price discovery to the downside and start taking out previous lows. So entry underneath 1743. The first price target is really lame, less than 10 cents, 1734. So what I'm looking for is the big move down to 1684. So let's see what ends up happening. Again, your entry would be underneath 1743. I'm going to be very curious to see how well this price support ends up holding us. And then if it continues to drop, that's great. I'll probably add into my position there. Now, upside play. A lot of move needs to happen to the upside, but CCL can, in fact, do it. 1888 is our entry for a 2-2 reversal to the upside, and the first price target is even more shallow than the downside. That's going to be a penny up, 1889. So maybe just make your entry at 1889 instead for a move to 1968. Now that's assuming things just go crazy up pre-market tomorrow. So otherwise, I'd be looking at the downside play. All right, that's CCL. Next is NEO. NEO is a 2-2 both down today. So we'll see what happens. The reason why I actually have NEO on my list is because it seems like this level is a pretty decent support. 1618 was pretty much the low. Actually, it was 1616 was our low today. So let me move us there. So 1616 was the low, 1618 was the previous low. We do have this gap fill to 1535 that I've been keeping a very close eye on since we were, sitting around up here in that $18 area. So I'd be looking for the downside play to 1535 as my price target. Again, we are sitting at the bottom of a broadening formation. So let's see if we drop through to get some more range expansion, or at least come down to this price target before we come back up in. We'll see what goes down and what doesn't here. So the upside play would be 1741 for a move to 1829. That's going to be your 2-2 reversal. Again, this is a pretty interesting area because the highs are pretty much the same. The lows are pretty much the same. So honestly, anything could happen at this point. I mean, these might as well be some 1 bars, but they're not. They're 2 bars. So that is NEO. The next one I'm looking at is DraftKings. This, as with everything else, did some crazy moves today, but what we do end up having on the bigger time scale is just 2 1 bars in a row. So we're going to be looking at an entry over 1468 to the upside for a move to 16 bucks, or we're going to be looking at an entry below 1380. The price targets are really shallow, 1375, and then we're going to be going into all-time lows. I mean, we're pretty much already there anyway. If we get past the low of the 2 bar on the 22nd, which was 1373. So, be on the lookout with DraftKings. At that point, my price targets are going to be the $0.50 increments that you can trade DraftKings in. So we have DraftKings, 1350s, 1250s, and so on. So that's what I mean by $0.50 increments. Okay, so that is going to be DraftKings. And then last on the list, we're sitting going into Wednesday. Got to be a little careful because earnings are coming up next week. I think that's next week for AMD. The options themselves, though, shouldn't really be affected right now. So at least this week's options. So AMD did a 212 on the day. That was a big 212. It definitely hit that price target. I'm going to be looking for a continued drop because, again, I think Google's going to, take a lot of stuff down. Microsoft did have some good earnings, so we'll ultimately see what happens going into pre-market tomorrow. But if we do go 2 to the downside, this is a very authoritative 2 down. Below $85.08 for a forced price target of $84.24. Now, AMD does have some good ATR, so we're looking at about a $5 move. So this could realistically get down all the way to $80.57. So that is a price target to keep in mind. Again, bottom of a broadening formation as well. So we either come to a bounce and then come back up after we, take our price targets on the way, or guess what? Maybe we just open to the upside or move to the upside tomorrow because pre-market earnings are great and the sun is shining. Who knows? So the entry would be for a 2-2 reversal would be over $90.12 for the first price target of $91.37. Now that's pretty shallow. Again, for something like AMD, we'd be looking at about a 95 price target just because of the ATR being about $5. So that is probably something that you could aim at. Again, I don't really go too far out of the money, especially when we're dealing with high volatility, quick moving stuff like AMD, Microsoft, Apple, so on and so forth. So those are going to be the Tiggers I'm looking at. As always, we're going to look at SPY and QQQ right quick. Honestly, did not expect I'd see a drop this quickly, go from 450 all the way down to roughly about 415 or so in a matter of 4 days. This is unreal. So we're looking at the 2 down again, below 1416, your price targets. We have a liquidity zone that we kind of butted right up against right now today. So let's see if we end up passing through it and tomorrow. And so then if we go to the downside, we have price targets of 414.70, 411.67, 405.33, 404. This is getting pretty bad if it continues to drop. So the upside play though, over 426.04 for the move to 428.69, and then a bigger move to 438.08. The one thing I do like about these big candles that we're seeing is that they mean big price targets, or they have the potential to mean big price targets, especially when we start reversing and going upside. So that's going to be SPY. Then we got QQQ. A lot of the same story. Big old drop over the last 4 days or so, 4 or 5 days. So What we do actually kind of have setting up here is a pivot machine gun. We just wanted, we're going to want to see one more lower low, a lower high and a lower low to be able to, you know, see a pivot machine gun, or I'm sorry, yeah, just a lower low, or lower high. Gosh, I always can't say that correctly. So anyway, 2-2 reversal over $32.66. The first one is going to be, might as well say $3.30. The next price target is $3.35, so that's pretty realistic. We have an ATR about $9, so definitely could easily hit these price targets. You know, tomorrow. Downside play under 316.86. We're sitting at the bottom of a broadening formation. Do keep that in mind. Potential bounce could be happening. But if we do drop through it, we're going to be doing some range expansion. First price target's going to be at 311.54. So that is going to be your, you know, market in a nutshell. That's what I'm looking at going into tomorrow. That's going to be 427.22. Make sure that you like and subscribe so that we can continue to give you these updates.